I want to share a story with you, one that is true and genuine. A story of a robot and an organization kept clandestine. Following the abhorrent nuclear atrocities committed by man, we were left in a world only the strongest could withstand. I bring you not a parable nor a fable, no. It's more akin to a bagel with tomatoes, and thus starts the story of Pato. It's short for potato, but in these lands it's illegal to have a name with 3 or more syllables because if the government can't spell it, they don't like it. He's a young skeleton who woke up in a town with a bunch of destroyed buildings. Basically all that was left was a bar. He walked into the bar in search of some Truly Lemonades or White Claws, fully prepared to use the excuse that he was buying them for his sister. But upon entry, some dude at a table called him a worm. That wasn't very nice of him. "You just wait until I have more loot," muttered Pato under his breath as he left the bar, knowing that someday he would have his vengeance. Pato decided to leave town and soon enough came across another bar that looked eerily similar to the one he was just in. "Best if I avoid this, I don't like being called a worm," thought Pato, when suddenly a group of bandits began harassing some other dudes nearby and soon enough blood was shed. "Free loot," thought Pato as he saw their bodies lying on the ground, but it wasn't free. These dudes were still alive and they wanted Pato's life. So Pato went pop, 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 and he disposed of them, took their loot, and was set on his way until that other group of bandits came back. Profusely sweating and secreting oil, Pato ran. The relentless mob of bandits continued their chase even as patrons of the nearby bar came out to help. Pato kept running and running and running because, oh my god, these guys just wouldn't stop. It's kind of crazy. Just give them some space. "Come here, little skeleton. I just want to tickle you a little bit," exclaimed one bandit as he pursued Pato. Pato was naive, but he knew that tickle was a code word by the bandits for something very undesirable and morally unjust. Pato stumbled on a rock. "Ah, you son of a bitch." He had taken damage but carried on with his retreat, soon enough making it back to the town in which he was born, and yet again more bar patrons came to his aid and eventually rid the town of any bandit threat. Unsurprisingly, the citizens disregarded Pato's presence. They didn't eliminate the intruders for his sake, but rather the town's. Catching his breath, an ominous noise from beyond the settlement's walls echoed out, filling Pato with curiosity and fear. Pato walked up the steps of the town's walls and looked in the direction of the source of the noise and the crimson light shining in the sky. "What the fuck is that?" He decided to walk back to the bar, hoping to get some answers about the phenomenon he just saw. Pato spotted a man with his back to the door, sitting alone at a table, and decided to sit next to him, but not too closely. "Hello!" The man said nothing. He kept his eyes fixated on the table, as if Pato wasn't there. "Hello?"
No, what up?
"I just had a quick question about the area. Did you have..."
Where did it?
The man interrupted him. "The thing in the sky? Yes, I saw it. What is it?"
Well, safety rest means be salvation, my verb, get rest. Nani?
"I'm sorry, what? Can you repeat that?" The man did not respond. He resumed staring at the table in front of him, almost like he was stuck in a trance, or almost like he had a terrible alcohol problem. He wouldn't budge, but Pato partially understood what the man said, and he was right. It would be wise to get some rest. Pato went upstairs and crawled into bed, quickly falling into a deep slumber, and heard a mysterious voice as he was carried off into a dream. Beep boop, beep boop boop bop beep boop, beep bop, beep bop boop beep bop. Various strings of zeros and ones enveloped Pato's mind during his sleep, which he fully understood, but as the narrator of this story, I have no idea what the heck it meant. Or do I? Beep bop, beep bop, boopity boppity, huh? After about 7 hours and hitting his internal snooze button about 4 times, Pato emerged from his sleep, and for some reason, he craved some spaghetti and meatballs, a delicacy in this area, or maybe some peas chizza, that sounded good to him too. Pato got out of bed, realizing he had left a nasty oil spot in the sheets from the wounds he'd recently acquired, but shrugged it off. Not my problem. Pato also realized that he felt physically lighter, like he'd lost 6 pounds during his sleep, or somewhere around there. He checked his pockets and found a terribly written note within, and it said, "Forgive me for what I've done, but I did not lead you astray. To learn of your destiny is a small price to pay." Judging by the brown and yellow stains splattered over the note, Pato deducted that it must have been the drunk old man who had written it. Pato checked his pockets once more, and then sighed. "That fucking drunk, smelly old idiot stole my motherfucking goddamn money." Man, Pato was pissed. What was he gonna do now? How could he be expected to acquire adequate gear, survive in the world, or spend time at his favorite brothel if he has no money? Resort to stealing and scavenging like the rest of those bandits that he'd absolutely despised? Probably. Pato walked downstairs, seeing no trace of the drunkard, save for the vomit that he accidentally stepped in, and his anger only grew. Pato now had 3 goals in mind. Stop being poor, find the old man, and seek out the thing in the sky. Actually, there was one more goal, a smaller one. Pato was hankering for some grapes. He walked up to the bartender and asked, "Hey, got any grapes?" The bartender said, "No, we just sell alcohol, but it's cold and it's fresh and it's sure to make you shit-faced. Can I get you a glass?" Pato said, "I'll pass," and he waddled away, realizing he was too broke for grapes anyway. But then Pato got on that grind set, baby. He ventured out of town once again and started looking for any possible source of income. He started mining. He looked around for dead bodies to steal stuff from. And that's basically it, really. He did run back to town a few times whenever needed help, though. Over time, Pato ended up making a fine little establishment just for himself in the middle of nowhere, which was probably a terrible idea, considering the amount of bandits that were roaming around. But it's fine. Not long after, some religious zealots approached Pato at his home, speaking of something called Prayer Day. This made no sense to Pato because he didn't live on a prayer. As he walked up to the group, they revolted in disgust at the sight of him. "Skeleton, run for your lives!" They said run, but they casually walked away from him. What's their problem? Pato was their problem. The Holy Nation got word of Pato's presence in the area and sent out a squad to murder him. Why? Because they don't like skeletons. Which is pretty hypocritical, isn't it? We're all skeletons underneath. Thankfully, though, Pato wasn't around when they came by. They walked in his home and sat there like a bunch of idiots while Pato silently watched. He decided to get on with his day and continue mining. It's a good thing the barkeep seemed to have a limitless supply of money and a limitless need for copper, because Pato had a lot of it. On one of Pato's trips back to town, he saw some people lying on the floor in a bloody mess, one of them still alive, and Pato was astonished at how they even managed to survive with that much blood loss. Pato approached them in a friendly manner, wondering if he could help, but then they started being rude as heck. Turns out they were part of the Holy Nation, the same group of people that raided his house previously. Go figure. You see, somewhere in some alternate universe, Pato didn't stand for this disrespect, so he bopped her as she lied helplessly on the ground, quickly taking her life. But then the town got mad about it and would no longer buy Pato's copper ore and wanted to fight him. But that's just in an alternate universe, of course. That didn't actually happen. He left her to rot in her blood. Pato continued mining, making that money day in and day out when he was approached by some bandits who wanted his food. No. Yes. No. The bandits did not accept this as an answer. Pato ran back to town, but they didn't follow him inside, and one of the bandits was isolated, so Pato thought he would try his luck at taking one out. This was a mistake. Got him. Pato was hurt. Look at that limp. It healed over time, though. He just needed a repair kit to really feel good. Since building Pato's house proved to be an incredibly idiotic and regrettable idea, he instead opted to buy a home within the city, even though basically everyone hated him there. It was a much better option, especially because the house he built before didn't have any air conditioning. Another upside was that he was neighbors with someone from the Holy Nation, someone that Pato wouldn't hesitate to steal stuff from. He snuck into their home and stole some bowls, or as Pato called them, ramen holders, as well as some other things to sell. Pato was taking a nice, relaxing 8-hour power nap when something he definitely didn't expect to happen happened.
No, no. Home in the north.